Hi, good morning. Good morning, Yolanda.
Good morning.
Welcome to Restorative Yoga. I'm gonna put you on mute. Yeah, I don't know if you've done restorative yoga before. And actually, let me back up. I don't know if we've actually had a class together. So I'm Diana. Welcome to the class. Really great to have you. And with restorative yoga, it's a active relaxation class. So it sounds counterintuitive, but if this is your first time, it's a really beautiful practice because it really helps you ease into each pose. So you'll notice as we move through, it's fewer poses than a normal flow class or the normal stretch class that I teach. But with that, the intention is to really help you sink into each pose so that as you stay there for just a few moments, more than you normally would, your muscles and your body and even your breath will actually help you feel the difference as you stay in that for just a little bit longer than you normally would hold a yoga pose. So that's the idea behind restorative yoga if you haven't done it before. And then before we get started, I'm going to point out some of the props that I have. These are just things that I have around the house so that this is just an accessible practice. So first I'm going to point out, I have 2 blankets here with me. You can even use a towel if you want. So we'll roll them up a couple times, just help give us a little bit of support and even help some de-stressing or just kind of like releasing of tension. So if you don't have that already next to you, let's go ahead and grab that. And then I do have as well a couple pillows. So these are just the pillows that I have on my bed. I brought 2 because they tend to be a little bit soft. So I just wanted to give myself extra support if I need to, or just kind of an extra layer if it's just like too soft and I start sinking. And the last thing is I have blocks. So you get blocks, you can get phone books if you have those. I know growing up, we kept them around the house a lot. So those are also just something, but really with the blocks, it's meant to have something kind of like sturdy so that when we do put our hips on them, they don't move or, it doesn't collapse below us. So if you don't have those already by your side, let's take a moment to grab those. And then if you already have those, we can start by bringing ourselves into a nice seated position. So take a moment, grab the props, grab whatever you need, and then I'll still just take a moment to let people into the class. But yeah, just take a moment. I'll start in like another minute or 2. So I'm gonna let people trickle on in. And then I see someone else joined as well. So good morning. I don't know who's on the LG stylo, but good morning. Great to have you. Welcome to Restorative Yoga. Again, like I was just walking through, if this is your first time, restorative yoga is a slower practice in that we do fewer poses. However, it is an active relaxation practice. So what that means is we'll hold each pose longer than we would typically hold the pose in a vinyasa class or even the stretch yoga classes that I teach on Fridays. And the intent behind that is to allow your body to really feel how the pose evolves as we hold it for just a little bit longer. So with that, it's going to be incorporating our breath as well. We'll be breathing through our nose, and it'll be a really nice, easy class. So wherever you are, as you're ready, if you're already got your props laid out behind you, I'm going to invite you to start by just finding yourself in a nice seated position. And then inviting you to close your eyes if you want to set a gentle inward gaze or kind of inward scan. You can also keep your eyes soft if you want to keep them open, yogi's choice. I will also say everything that I put forth is an invitation, so it's an option. You don't have to do everything. It's really meant to support you in your practice, and ultimately, this is your practice. So with that, if you're not already, again, just find yourself in a nice seated position. Start to close your eyes. And then bring that energy inwards. Bring your awareness inwards. Maybe start to relax the shoulders, draw them away from your ears, open up the collarbone just a little bit. And again, here, an option if you'd like to set an intention for this practice. Otherwise, we'll be moving together. I'll be here to guide you. And a couple more breaths. So as you're doing this, as you're taking the breath in, maybe start to notice how it moves down your chest, maybe how it moves down your ribs to your belly. And as you exhale through your nose, you notice that as well. So emptying the belly, emptying the ribs, emptying the chest. And then once more, take an inhale. And then maybe this time noticing where the air and the opening is happening even through the arms or down the arms, wherever your hands are. And then exhale. Okay, so the first one we'll do. So sorry, I apologize. I forgot to mention too, I have a chair with me or a small stool. So this one here, we'll use it a couple times in our pose. So if you have a couch behind you, you're welcome to use your couch too. I forgot to mention this chair that's right in front of me. So with this, the first one, chair or couch, whatever you want to help support you. I'm going to invite us to bring our seated selves in front of this pose. And what we want to do is either grab a blanket to put at the seat of the chair to give us a little bit of cushion, and then really just sit forward, right? So we're going to rest our forehead gently just on the edge or where the blanket meets the chair and meets the seat. And so as you do this too, notice how your sitting muscles are rooted on the ground. You want to keep your spine long and tall. And then with your hands, just keeping them draped to your side. You can keep the palms up if that feels good for you. Or you can put it palms down on the ground, whatever feels good for you. And so right here, as you're sitting here in this pose, in this posture, you're starting to release any tension or any pressure that you might have just kind of accumulated in your forehead area. So that's kind of the area where we're relaxing right now, where we're feeling some release. So as you're here to sink in, allow your chest to drop forward if that feels good for you. And then we'll stay here for a few moments, and I'll cue you when it's time to transition, but for the most part, I want to limit my verbal cues so that you have the opportunity to really feel each pose that it evolves with your breath, with the natural pressures that are being activated. So with that, inviting you to ease into this. And then just breathe through your nose, in and out. As you're here, as you're breathing in, notice when you inhale if there's any opening that's happening in the back as well, right? So we're allowing our forehead to rest, releasing any of that tension or that just kind of pressure points on our forehead. Along the way, maybe as our breathing moved in and out of this pose, we started to feel other parts of our body respond to this as well. Maybe the back felt a little bit more open. Maybe there's some sensation happening with the arms or just the breath moving through the arms. So whatever you're feeling, we'll just keep it here a few moments longer. And an invitation to relax the face muscles too. Notice how that might feel and how that might help release some additional muscles as well. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, let it out. And to help us come out of this pose, let's first plant our palms on the ground beside us, so on either side of our legs. Let's press our hands down so that we help bring our upper body up into a gentle seat here. With the blanket that you have nearby, we're going to set up for the next one. So here, bring that blanket down on the mat. We'll work next on opening our back and helping to open up our collarbones here. So what I'm going to do with my blanket here is I'm actually going to roll it into, I'm just going to call it a sausage, right? So you roll it in, and that gives you a little bit more firm support here. And so you can adjust to whatever feels good for you. But yeah, take a moment to fold it as you need and then roll it up so it has a little bit more elevation here. And then if you do have a second blanket or towel, you could put that right above that rolled up one, because this is going to be, the flat one is going to be where your head is going to be resting if you want a little bit of support. And then this rolled up piece is where we're going to have our upper body resting and opening up. So once you have those set up for you, let's scooch ourselves down, bring ourselves down onto our mat. So bending the elbows, drawing ourselves down. And then you'll feel it for yourself where it feels okay for you. But typically for me, this rolled up towel or blanket feels really nice just at the bottom of the shoulder blades. So as I lower myself down onto the floor completely, my head is resting on the blanket. If you don't need the blanket, you're also welcome to remove it off and just lay your head on the mat. But with this, we're going to keep our knees bent. We're going to keep our feet on the floor. And then as your upper body feels good, start to open up your arms. You can open them up to your side. I call them kind of airplane wings. Otherwise, you can bring them up a little bit further, maybe, somewhere between between where your shoulders fall and where your kind of ears go up. So whatever feels good for you. And so as you're easing into this one right now, we're feeling some opening and some release happening in the back. So in the upper back, maybe the ribs area, that's where you feel it. And then as well with your collarbone, it's just starting to open up. That chest is just starting to open up. And at the same time, your arms as well, wherever they've fallen, maybe there's some opening happening there as well. So as you get into this, sink into it, keeping with your breath, noticing how that feels. And again, I'll cue you when it's time to come out of it. But for the next few moments, I'm going to keep my verbal cues to a minimum so that you can begin to just feel into this pose. Keeping your body where it is. Take a nice deep breath in and exhale it out. And keeping your body where it is. If you want to bring up the arms just up over your head, maybe put them by your side next to your ears, lengthening the arms above your head. So we're still on our mat, still resting on our mat. But this time our arms are extended above our head. So arms, fingers, maybe palms facing up towards the ceiling. And then keeping it here for just a few moments. Noticing how even this movement is helping to open up or awaken the arms just a little bit. And at this point here, you're probably feeling a little bit of a curvature in the lower back. So that's why we keep our feet bent, our feet on the ground and our knees bent. So it's there to give us a little bit of support as we are arching and opening our upper body. So we're lengthening our arms and then just letting it at the same time sink into the mat, sink into the ground, and see how that opening feels. Take a nice deep breath here. Filling the body. Exhale, maybe deepening just a little bit. And then on your next inhale, let's press, we're gonna keep our pose here. However, let's press our feet into the mat so we can help bring up the hips just a little bit off the ground. This will help us shift down that rolled up blanket or that towel down to our lower back slash midsection. So wherever it feels good for you. So we're just bringing it down to help release pressure points from the bottom half of our back. So again, just modify where it feels good for you. And then as it feels good for you, as you find the nice sweet spot for you, bringing the hips back down onto the mat, resting the hips down, giving that support in that lower curvature of your back. So your towel's there, your rolled up blanket or towel. And then again, just inviting you to open out those arms, letting them fall to your side wherever they fall. And start to breathe in and out as your natural breath allows you, moves you. You can feel and sink into this stretch. A nice deep breath in. Exhale it out. Notice how it sinks the body down. Keeping your body where it is with your arms. If they were out to your side, maybe this time you want to inhale it up. Again, next to your ears, side by side. Just noticing how that feels to open that up. Another variation, if you want to do it, is to bend at the elbows and have your hands grab opposite elbows. So your arms are still resting above your head. Arms are still resting on the ground. But here's just another variation where instead of having your arms extended onto the ground, if you want, you can bend at the elbows and have the arms or the hands grab opposite elbows. So with your face facing the ceiling still, just ease into this and notice how this one feels. And gentle reminder to relax the forehead, relax the jaw. If you want to take a moment with if your arms are, if your hands are grabbing opposite elbows, if you want to take a moment to switch so that whichever hand was on top is now on the bottom, go ahead and take a moment to do that. And then just ease your way back into the stretch, into the pose. Take a nice deep breath in, filling the chest, maybe filling the ribs, the belly, and exhaling it out at your own pace, emptying the belly, the ribs, chest, unbending the arms. If they were bent, bring them over to your side. And then for the next one, so there's two ways to do the next one. And let me show you. First, let me kind of explain it through. It's going to be just staying on our backs, keeping that rolled up towel where we are, and then we're going to just open up our legs so that they're open to butterfly. So with this one, it might feel good for you to just have it open like this. Otherwise, if you do want to grab a block or something to put underneath your knees for support, you're welcome to do that. So if you want to do that, I'm just going to guide it through where I close my my knees back up. I'm going to bring my knees over to one side, place my hand on the mat or on the ground so that I support myself as I come back up so that I can grab my blocks. So this is a pretty, pretty easy flow that we're doing. So I just want to be mindful of whatever movements we do. We're being very careful to support ourselves. We're not jolting up. We're not trying to send anything up super quick. So that's just really the point of supporting ourselves as we move into it. But again, if you wanted to grab your blocks or, a box even or a book, whatever there can be to support you. So let's grab them and let's put them on either side of your mat. So it'll be super easy. Just kind of get an estimate of where your knees might fall. And then whenever you're ready, we'll come back down. So your rolled up towel should already be in the position where it's going to support your lower back because you're going to feel a little bit of a curvature there. So that's where you're going to have that. And then again, if you want that blanket or some, even a pillow if you want to support where your head is going to go ahead and do that. Otherwise, we'll gently lower ourselves back down. Again, first our knees are bent, our feet are planted on the mat. We're going to adjust that rolled up towel as needed, right? So it's there to support that curvature in the lower back. And then whenever you're ready, we can start to bring the bottoms of our feet together as we start to open up our knees out to a butterfly. So again, here, it's really gentle here. Knees are not meant to go all the way down. It's really where it feels good for you. Yogi's choice, you're welcome to keep your hands just, at the top of your thighs. That feels good for you. Otherwise, you're also welcome to just bring them out. Again, Yogi's choice. We'll stay here for a few moments. And enjoy this. Use your breath. Use your breath to help you feel and kind of sink into this pose. And along the same way, as we stay in this pose, as you take an opportunity to check in and kind of scan how things are feeling. Use that as an invitation as well to see what it means to release that tension, right? So if I'm noticing, for instance, that my cheeks are engaged or that I'm holding some tension or even just holding some energy in my face, what does it feel like when I relax that, right? How does that then ripple across the rest of this pose and even to areas where I didn't notice before? All right, and keeping your body where it is. Take a nice inhale. And then exhale as it feels good for you. So keep the body where it is. The arms, again, invitation to bring the arms up overhead, parallel to your ears. If that feels good for you, for another way to feel into the stretch. Another option, if you'd like instead, is to bring one hand over your heart and have the other hand rest over your belly. So yogi's choice, whatever feels good for you. We'll stay here for a few moments again. Take a nice breath in, let it out. Wherever your hands were, uh, find them coming back down your thighs. Bring them to the outside of your knees. You can help bring your knees back up together. Plant the feet on the ground. And this time, let's extend the right leg out. And we'll turn over and bring our left leg over, or bring our left knee over. So I'll just show you. We can actually remove that rolled up towel this time, and we can actually put it parallel to our right leg. So I'm going to scooch back so it's easier to see just a bit. And so we have our right leg extended. We have the left knee bent right now. We're putting that rolled up towel beside us. And this time we can either lie back down on the side or use our arm as a pillow. And then we'll do a side twist here. So really just allowing ourselves to rest our left knee on top of the rolled up blanket. If you need a little bit of support or a little bit more height, go ahead and modify that. So maybe it's just a matter of holding the blanket once more to give it just a little bit more height if that feels good for you. Again, it's really just helping to ease into this, and so that your knees and your hips are parallel where that may be. So in this case, I might even want to put maybe like block, or if you had pillows, you can also grab the pillows. They might give you a little bit more height too. But with that, it's giving it a little bit of height that way. And then as I bring myself down, just be careful with the hip. Just be mindful here as you move into it. And then you'll just rest your knee on top here. So we're resting on our sides, and then just really letting the hip here just sink in. So we'll stay here for a few moments. Your arms can rest where it feels good, whether it's just by your side or even out front. Yeah, even on that knee or on that hip, whatever feels good for you. So wherever you are, we'll stay here for a few moments. And with this one especially, it's just noticing how the left hip or the left side is it's just gonna ease into it. It's gonna melt into this. Invitation to have your eyes closed as well. Maybe that helps you feel how your muscles and your breath is responding to this pose just a little bit more. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, letting it out. Then on your next inhale, let's place the left arm or the left hand just behind us to help transition us to the other side. So maybe first rolling onto our back completely, moving the blanket that we were using over to the other side. And if we need to come up to our elbow, we can go ahead and do that just to help position things over. Same thing, block on the other side. Actually, I'm just going to switch directions on my mat so it's easier to see all of you. But for you, stay where you are and then just switch sides. So you can adjust the blanket or the towel, giving yourself that cushion. If you need to move that blanket over that was supporting your head, or just kind of reposition it at an angle so that your shoulder doesn't land on it, that's fine too. And then whenever you're ready, we'll bend at the elbows, bringing ourselves back lower and down onto the mat. Lengthening our left leg first, so keeping that long, parallel to the blanket and the towel. Then whenever you're ready, we can bend that right arm if that was a good pillow for you. Maybe you tuck it under that towel or that headrest if you had, if maybe that feels better. And then as you're ready, rolling over to your left side so that this way your right knee can bend and bring that resting on top of your support. So again, as you're here too, just notice on the bottom side, the side that's touching the ground or your mat. It's not so much resting directly on top of the hip. You're probably gonna lean in just a little bit further because we're not trying to put so much pressure on the hip, but rather just gonna lean in so that we feel the release happening on our right hip as well. So right hip, maybe just adjusting my support here a little bit more. And just as you get into it, you'll just feel a really nice ease for your left leg, or your right leg, I'm sorry. Just kind of melts into the support that you built for it. Yeah, and whenever you're ready, eyes closed again if that felt good for you. And then just breathe into this pose. Take a nice deep breath in. Maybe feeling a little bit of opening in the back. Exhale, sinking in just a little bit. And on your next inhale, pressing your right hand down so that it helps you roll onto your back. Preparing ourselves for a really nice Savasana here. If there's anything you want to do in advance of this last stretch together, invitation to do so. Maybe if you want to, for instance, just hug in that right knee, give a little bit of pressure here, extend that back out. We'll do it on the other side as well. Inhale the left knee in, bring that back out. And actually maybe this time let's bend both knees and let's just give ourselves a really nice hug. Bending both knees in, maybe wrapping our hands around our legs. And then just rolling side to side, gentle back massage here. Really nice work, everyone. Okay, so whenever you're ready, opening the arms, releasing the legs, and then just letting your body fall open into your Savasana. And so with this too, one last cue is if you want to use that blanket or any pillow to put over your forehead or maybe even cover your eyes for this Savasana, go ahead and do so. It's really gentle, giving it just a little bit of pressure either in the eyes or just kind of the forehead area. And make this a really nice, yummy Savasana. So whichever variation you'd like to do, let's come into that. And then here, as we just sink in with our breath, let's begin to relax the mind, relax the forehead, relax the cheeks, your jaw, relax the throat, relax the shoulders, your back, your ribs. Relax the arms, relax your elbows, relax the wrists, your hands, your fingers. Relax your chest, relax your belly, relax the hips, your thighs, relax the knees, relax the calves, your ankles, relax the feet, your toes, just relax. slowly start to bring more awareness back to your breath. Take a nice inhale through the nose. Maybe exhale through the mouth. On your next inhale, moving the arms out overhead, up overhead for full. Nice long body stretch. Maybe wiggle the fingers, maybe rotate the wrists, maybe pedal out the feet, wiggle your toes. Whatever starts to help bring a little bit more energy back. And if you had a covering over your head, over your forehead, or over your eyes, let's smooth that up and off. Let's take another nice inhale. Just to maybe noticing how the air, the oxygen is moving through your body. Maybe there's just a little bit more awareness happening now. And as you're ready, let that breath out. Just exhale that really nice. And whenever you're ready, rolling over to one side. Just taking a moment here. Check in, make sure everything's feeling okay. And then whenever you're ready, we'll use our hands. We'll plant our hands down on the mat or on the ground. We'll use that to support us to press down so we can bring our upper body up, back into a nice seated position here. If you're good here, stay here. If you want to grab your blanket or pillow and put it under your pelvis, you're welcome to do that as well. And then just take a moment to find yourself back in a nice seated position. Eyes closed still if that feels good for you, otherwise keeping a soft gaze. And then just noticing as you're sitting, as you're lengthening your spine, maybe you have a little bit of room to open up that collarbone and drop the shoulders just behind you, just a little bit away from the ears. And then together we'll take 3 breaths. So on the first one, let's inhale the arms up overhead. Bring the arms, palms to touch above our head. Exhale, coming on down into gentle prayer. Your thumbs are gently grazing your chest here. And then with this one, just taking a moment here, taking a moment to check in, see how everything's feeling. Gentle scan here. Let's take another inhale. Let's open the arms up. Open them wide. Bring them up overhead, palms to touch. Exhale, coming on down. Again, thumbs grazing the chest just a little bit. And then with the second one, just giving yourself some gratitude, right? Giving yourself this morning, making time for yourself this morning to give you this practice, to check in with yourself and really just make this time for you and your practice. Okay, and once more, last one, let's inhale the arms up. Arms open, palms to touch overhead. Whenever the palms meet, let's exhale, coming on down. Exhale, thumbs grazing the chest. Once more, and this time let's tilt the chin downwards just a little bit so that it's closer to the chest. And here we just take this moment of gratitude for being able to show up for our community. It's so wonderful for me to be able to share in your practice. So with that, may the light in me see the light in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for showing up in this practice. I hope you enjoyed it, especially if this is your first time. I also teach on Fridays, stretch yoga. It's from 9 to 10. Come check it out if you have some time. Otherwise, thanks again. I'd love to see you all again. Please stay tuned. We'll keep you all posted as new classes come along and everything. But again, Yolanda, Dr. V, really great to have you this morning. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And then just remember, stay healthy, stay hydrated, be safe. And yeah, I hope to see you again at the next class. Thanks so much. Bye.